Well, hello everybody. Yeah, you're getting me today instead of my horse, but there's a reason for that. So last 3 days, when I normally would be out here, so Thursday, Friday, but not Saturday, I was at FanX, and so she got several days off. So due to that, that's why I'm out here today and everything. But along those notes, I'm going to be starting to do my cosplays in November through March instead, like even into April if I need to. So that way it's not an issue. Oh yeah, I gotta meet Lawrence, who was the Witch King in Lord of the Rings. I'm not gonna try to say his last name because I didn't want to say certain last names, and I'm like, I'm not even gonna try to say it because it's like I don't want to butcher it. And then I also met Jarvis Davies again. He's always a joy to meet. And everything. But starting probably next month, going into and then into November, basically until it starts to snow, I'm gonna probably start working on my screenplays. The ones that are done down at City Creek. I'm probably going down there, get lunch, and just sit and work on them. Because I'd rather be outside working on getting them ready for pre-production and stuff like that than inside my apartment where I live with my parents and stuff. And then my goal, so I'm planning to start doing table reads mid-October. I do have a separate email for that, but since my main email is closed, not closed, but no longer working, it basically, I started using my acting email, but still, that one is primarily just for acting. I do use it for horses, cosplay, a number of things, but I have a specific section in that just for acting. Just for acting, and then just for my screenplays. So, also, I respond to emails very quickly due to the fact that I do work nights. So during the day, I'm actually awake, and I'm writing, or I'm here at the barn, or I'm gonna start hiking again next spring, or maybe I'll start hiking a little bit depending if trails are open and everything like that. There's a trail over here that I want to finish hiking that I've gotten somewhat through, and then I stopped because it's like I don't want to do this alone. But so with Rhea, that one's gonna have two versions. It's the short film version that was nominated for Zepstone, and then there's the other version that's gonna be like 4 to 6 episodes, and that's it. And so sorry if I'm making weird faces with my nose. My nose hurts. And so due to that, so essentially due to that, I finished the short film, writing it, but now I'm basically doing the extended version of it, like the extended version. And then with my other ones, so Palmyra, I have actually added a character in. Right now, the placeholder name for that character is, I think it's Cardin. I have to go and look. It's like C-R-D-Y-D-N. C-A-R-Y-D-E-N. That name may change. And just a little bit about him. He's basically one of Palmyra's father's allies on the Stewards Council. He's older in age than Palmyra's father, and he basically looks out for Palmyra when her brother and her father are both gone and out of the city. I will be starting Saturday. I'm gonna try to get some stuff filmed later this week to post on Saturday. It might all happen on Saturday because I go back to work tomorrow. I go back to work tomorrow night. I have stuff I'm doing I have stuff that I'm doing on Monday, but just due to that, I will be posting my email address not on TikTok, but on Instagram. Basically when I post this, which I'm gonna try to post this before I leave the barn. We'll see if that works. Internet out here is spotty, but that may have just been my data. But I will say this: if I do not seem excited when I'm doing the videos, talking about my screenplays, my fantasy roasts, and stuff like that, it's not because I'm not excited. I'm very much excited. And I could talk about my screenplays and not Lord of the Rings, but my fantasy worlds and everything for basically days. But due to the fact that I do work the night shift, I'm usually quite tired and everything. So due to that is why. So that's why I'm gonna try to, if I film stuff during the week and I do not feel it, don't look and feel excited, there's a reason behind that. And so, but I try to write basically all my fantasy stuff so it's easy to film. Which for fantasy is hard in and of itself, but I try to do with minimal amount of sets. If there is sets involved, I try to do the same screenplay. I try to do the same location with multiple screenplays. So, for example, with that, Palmyra and Alethea is Palmyra's niece. They both grow up in the same house, in the same city, and so that solves that. And so basically, because what I want to be able to do when I'm filming them, as well as being in them and everything, is when they're filming, basically film everything that involves those cities or that location. And that includes reshoots, and then basically tear it down and I have to rebuild it again and everything. So one of the things I'm going to be working on as well this winter is going to be models for my screenplays and for the locations and stuff. I have maps I'm working on as well that I will be finishing and posting. And I have actually decided to include, so our Leia story and Rhea's story, their stories that Palmyra, Alethea, and everything grew up on. So basically I'm telling those stories and such. Our Leia is the longest it's probably going to be for that one is going to be a short film. At the longest it's going to be a feature film. It's not going to be longer than that. But yeah, I will be explaining a bit more. Nobody come after me, but I have been using AI, not for planning or screenplays and stuff like that as much as for just concept art. While I'm working on finding someone to do concept art for it, though I am considering just using those as a reference, and then basically, because next year for FanX and maybe even San Diego, if I'm able to get badges again for next year, I'm going to be and yeah, I use my hands a lot, so pardon that if that's an issue. But yeah, so due to that, I'm gonna be actually cosplaying and dressing up as some of the characters from those screenplays and stuff, because I started to make 2 costumes for 2 of them, and I realized that I don't like it being 2 separate pieces. I like it being 1 piece and that's it. So, but yeah, I'd love to have concept art. I found a place. I have to ask them if they're willing to do it once my maps are done, but they had these beautiful maps made out of cloth, and they were like absolutely beautiful, and like I want to have my maps similar to that, for basically a version. At some point I'm gonna try to get a booth at FanX, but I want to get a whole bunch of stuff done for it first. So that includes models, that includes getting the maps done, getting screenplays done. My goal is by the end of October to have season 1 of my screenplays for the ones that I have written done. So Pamera, Alethea, main 2, Rhea's 1, and then several others. Yes, it's really windy. I'm trying to speak up as much as possible, but yeah. So, but yeah, when I hike, I literally am looking at locations for filming. That kind of ends up what's happening, and then what I'm gonna try to do also is get some, like a teaser trailer filmed for them. But of course I need costumes first. So I'm gonna do a table read first. They're all gonna be over Zoom for right now. If anybody local is going to help me do it actually live and not through Zoom, feel free to email me at sarahdraperacting@gmail.com. That is the email that I put on all my screenplays. It is active, it does work. There's literally no issues with it. So due to that, let me think. I might have to end this because there is dark clouds coming and I don't know if I'm gonna get rained on or not. But yeah, I'll be down at City Creek probably once to twice a week just to get out of the apartment and go down there and just relax and bring some of my screenplays with me to work on, going through them and figuring out costumes and props and all of that sort of stuff. But yeah, so due to that, I'll also be talking about the characters when I do my videos. I'm doing this video out here because I had to come out to just check on my mare. She decided she was gonna act like she was lame, or basically was a little bit lame before FanX, and so I just wanted to double check her and everything. I'm playing with a plant. Before that. But I'm gonna probably try to spend more time downtown than I normally would. But I'm very much excited about my screenplays, and for anybody who says, oh, you should try to write like non-fantasy stuff, I've tried. I've literally got into like 5 pages, and then I either lose it in what I call the computer void on my computer, or it ends up somewhere else, or I can't finish it because I end up getting stuck. With fantasy, I write all my stuff in such a way that I do not have to do major rewrites before filming. If an actor comes to me and asks to do a rewrite, then they absolutely, depending on what that rewrite is, I am open to doing so. I kind of ended up doing rewrites at the request of some people that I showed my Palmera screenplay to before it got extended. And so I basically did end up extending that. Why is it this lightning by where I live when it's not even close? I don't see any dark clouds over there. I see dark clouds over that direction and over here by me, but not there. But yeah, so due to that, I am open to doing changes. It can, if it's during the table read and an actor that is going to be involved with it during filming, I am more than welcome to do that change. I will keep the other change in case something happens and that actor can't do it. I'll go back to the original, but I am open to it as long as it fits the story. And so with these character films, they're basically, oh, it smells good. They're literally just gonna be 2 seasons, 8 episodes each, and that's it. Because I have several longer ones, and then with my other so I have a bigger fantasy world, which is Asteria / Amar, and then I have a shorter one, a smaller one, not shorter, smaller, called Enumbar, and that one is a little bit darker than the other one, and everything, and it does not include dwarves. So the one thing that I will 100% turn down a role for is if it's full prosthetics. And it is due to the fact that me and the heat do not get along at all. I get heat stroke actually quite easily, and I found that out the hard way. With me getting heat exhaustion almost every summer, I've gotten to manage it, but the most prosthetics that I can handle is going to be like elf ears, and like if there's like makeup and stuff that require it. But that's it. I do have custom elf ears that are being made because it's hard to see, but my ears are actually quite small. So regular elf ears don't really fit onto them. Hence, I'm getting custom, plus only custom ones anyway for filming. So on my YouTube channel, I actually have 2 scenes from 2 of the screenplays from Anel and then from Palmyra. 2 of the scenes, and those scenes are actually, the longer version of them are actually inside my screen, the full-length screen, like episodes and screenplays and stuff. So, and I think it is starting to rain, so I'm going to end this. Which is weird because I don't see any clouds over me, unless they're up that way. So due to that, I'll have to see how I'm gonna be using my own horse in them, and then I'm gonna find horses for the others, because before I started acting, I was also in the horse community, and so I can reach out to them as well if I need to. I'm basically designing everything. My goal before FanX next year is to have a whole bunch of stuff done to show and everything. I might try and do a panel again. I'll just have to see. And okay, why are my eyes like slits? I have a problem with blue eyes, with gray eyes, that like you look like you're squinting and everything, even though you're not. But anyway, so I gotta remember. So yeah, so Sarah Draper Acting is where those videos are at. The 2 videos are also on with a group called Free Reign. I have to look it up, but I'll post it in the comments or in the thing when I post this as well. It's like Free Reign Films, I think it's called. They're also on there as well. They're the ones that filmed it. And these were essentially demo reel scenes that became short films. I think with these ones I jumped to features, and then now I realized that I want them longer. So, but if anybody has any questions about them, feel free to email me. Like, unless, like, don't spam me, because that just annoys me. Especially with stuff that does not relate to acting or my screenplays and stuff. And everything. Or horse related. So, as long as it's, like, if it's trying to hit on me, you will be automatically blocked. No questions asked. I don't appreciate that. If you're gonna be rude, mean, bully, you will also get blocked. I don't tolerate that either. And then I'll likely add to that. But yeah. So, but just due to that, I will be explaining the different locations. I'll be showing my maps and everything. They may look like they're Middle-earth type maps. I will tell you right now, they are not. That is literally drawing them freehand. That's not drawing them copying anything. That's literally, I literally drew them freehand. So I would post pictures and do a video of each of the different maps. Not all of them are done. I'm focusing on the third age of my fantasy world, which is when most of the stories happen. So Palmyra, Althea, Ariana. And I actually changed the spelling of Ariana. So instead of it being Ariana, it is now Airana. But I'm gonna talk about some of the characters, their stories, and all of that. I've gotta clean out my room, so that's gonna be fun. Because I gotta do that before I can work on costumes, before I can work on a number of other things, like the models and stuff like that. Because I'm a very visual person, so having a model, so having a picture is very, very helpful. But yeah, so due to that, horses are very much involved. One of the only characters that has lines that does not ride a horse for the most part, which I've decided to have that happen, is for Caradon. Caradon, basically, he doesn't really ride anymore. He doesn't fight. He doesn't. Most of the stuff, he very much is Arnor support at home, back in the city. And so basically the steward has a bunch of allies that outnumber Arnor's. Not Arnor's, that's Dorian's son. But Arnor's son. I gotta do a pronunciation list because mine are fantasy names and they're difficult to pronounce. There are no hobbits in my screenplays. There are wizards. I haven't fitted them in yet. And everything. And the main reason why is, like the elves, dwarves, elves, and wizards are not welcome in a big chunk of the mortal cities, especially the city of Versailles, which is where Palmyra and Althea and Ariana's stories play out. But yeah, so due to that, I do have some longer ones that are 5 seasons each, with I think 10 episodes. Each of my episodes are an hour long, or an hour to hour 30. So there are longer episodes, but it's just so that way I didn't have to add more episodes. And for anybody saying I should put this into book form first, I've tried writing this into book form first. I have. It hasn't gone well. The way my brain works, it works better when it comes to doing screenplays than book format. and it's inspired by Lord of the Rings and by Middle Earth and everything, which, before anybody comes after me for that, kind of almost all modern fantasy is. Because Tolkien was the father of modern high fantasy. So, there's jewelry involved, each of the elven, some of the high elves, they wear necklaces as well as a ring, and they basically, it's a form of protection, form of healing. The only one who's not elven who does wear one is Alethea. She's the only one. Palmyra gets a necklace, but that necklace is protection only. And it's basically, that necklace is, best way to describe it, is similar to like the elven rings, I think the best way to describe that, as well as the LSR brooch. And so due to that, it just makes more sense to have it that way. If one of my eyes still looks weird, it's due to the fact that I accidentally slept with my makeup on during FanX, and so that's why. I normally don't wear my makeup to bed, but I was exhausted, so. And next year at FanX, I do plan on being there all 3 days, VIP, from the time it starts to the time it ends. So the time the center closes, the Stall Pass closes, which will be at 11. That is the plan. But yeah, I'm gonna be posting more things. I actually do have 2 websites, one for the films, and then another one that is for basically explaining my different fantasy worlds. I'm still technically working on it. It's not done yet. Mainly because I don't have pictures. My plan is to get costumes done and then do pictures of the character, of like whether it be cosplayers or actors like in costume, and then put those on instead. So if I put up AI pictures to start, those are very likely going to be temporary. Basically, so people can see what that character looks like. I try to use AI as little as possible, but I do use it when I absolutely have to, because I am doing pretty much everything on my own right now, for pre-production, for them, to writing them, to finding locations, to doing costumes, props, models, all of that stuff. But anyway, I will start doing videos in October. Yeah, technically it is October on Saturday, so yeah, in October. What I'll probably do is try to film them during the week and then post them on Saturday. And as much as I love to be able to do them in costume, especially the character ones, I don't see that happening right away, as of right now. That will happen. And if anybody wants to do scenes from them, or help me with getting a teaser trailer made, I do have 2 I have 2 crowdfunding ones for my 2 short films that I will be launching. I just have to make sure everything is perfect before I do. That's the main thing. So I gotta add a video, I gotta add a whole bunch of other stuff. But that will be done. But yeah, I'm really excited to be able to hopefully start sharing my screenplays in film form with people. So next year, hopefully I will, because it's easier to carry my phone with it on there than carry my screenplays around. I learned that the hard way. But yeah, I'm gonna end that so I can head home before it starts to pour, possibly. And because my car has gotten stuck here at the barn before, and I don't want that happening. So I am gonna head home, and I'm gonna relax and work on my screenplays. Having a dress form has been really helpful. I've actually been able, so I'll be able to get my costumes done faster that way, with making the pieces go together correctly. But yeah, if anybody next year for FanX wants to help me with, I won't say promoting, but helping gather more interest in my screenplays while in costume, please let me know before November, so that way I can make a costume for you and everything. Even if you just come one day, I'm more than willing to pay for your ticket. I am gonna get in VIP again, because I did last year without VIP and it was not good. It did not go well. So, but yeah. If anybody, we'll be posting a list and all of that, and of the characters that I'd want to come with me. I'd want to cosplay with me for comes to my screenplays and stuff, and for going to FanX, as well as posting on social media, so that way I can show what the characters are supposed to look like. But yeah, shoot me an email if you're interested. I will add my email to the bottom, to the comment, to either the comments or the part of where I put in the description. Wow, I can't talk apparently at the moment. But yeah, I am super stoked. So, bye for now.